I can't believe the night lay waste to all we'd given. But honestly, you've gotta know that this ain't living. But we could run from Elysium and let it burn, let it burn. You've gotta know that nothing lasts forever.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Eclipse Double Elimination 5v5 Vail Tournament. My name is Daxi, I'm here with Ray on the production deck. How are you doing today?
I am doing fine myself. How about you?
Doing pretty good. We've got another matchup today, pretty early in the day, but it is a Sunday after all. It is going to be our two teams. You want to introduce them?
Yeah, so on one side we have Global Dystopia. I'm pretty sure they are NA. And we are also the Overdogs, who are EU. So the ping could be an issue in this. But we'll have to see.
We'll see. We'll see. But going over the rosters for these two teams, the Overdogs and Global Dystopia. Global Dystopia is going to have Alta, Odyssey, Tabby, Beer D, and LMK, while the Overdogs are going to have Hyper, Lagolo, Lidipich, Zyda, and Beaver. So I'm not familiar with any of the players on Overdogs except for Hyper. But I'm very familiar with the people on Global Dystopia. They've been around for a hot minute in this game. They haven't always been the top of the bracket, but they're definitely a notable name. So, do you have any predictions for this match, Ray?
I don't know. I think this could definitely be a close match, but let's see who takes it in the end.
That's fair. That's fair. We're just waiting for one more player to get into the server, and then we'll be right into the action. But if you haven't already, go ahead and throw your predictions in chat. We're going to be going over the full game here today. Remember, it is best of 3, meaning the first team to win 2 maps will knock the other team down to the loser's bracket.
Yeah.
So, leading into this, I've got another question for you, Ray.
Okay.
First, I've got to ask, do you know any of these players? Have you played with any of these players?
I do know the Overdogs from Breachers. I cast a lot of that.
Are you able to talk a bit about a little bit more about them? Because I'm not very into the Breachers scene. I'd like to know what their experience is coming in from another game.
Yeah. They placed pretty high in VRML, which is a Bridge League that happened recently. So we'll see how that translates into Vail, but
yeah. In comparison, I think Vail's a bit more of a fast-paced game, especially with how the gunplay works.
Yeah.
But looks like we have all 10 players in the lobby, and I'm gonna try to get in. Remember, if you haven't already and you want to be a part of tournaments like this, go ahead and join the Eclipse Discord. They're going to be hosting tournaments like this for a while. There's also some other events going on right now, some notable events being VRML preseason has ended and it will be started. VRML season 1 will be starting at the end of February. We also have Crest League tournament, which will also be happening at the end of February. That's a 1 weekend thing. They've got a artifact and a hardpoint tournament going on. The hardpoint tournament being a 4 versus 4. So if you haven't already, go ahead and register for all these tournaments coming up. We've got full release right around the corner, so it's time to get excited for actually competing, you know?
Indeed.
Are you considering competing at all, Ray? Are you on a team?
No, I'm not. I do play VR shooters myself, but way too bad to play comp.
Sometimes I think the same. I think I'm just terrible. Some days are worse than others, but hopefully we'll see these two teams at their best today, at their peaks. You mentioning Overdogs as a Breachers team has really interested me. How do you feel about the pacing of Breachers versus Vail? Like, what do you think some of the key differences are that matter, that are going to matter, at least in this matchup?
Yeah, I haven't seen much of Vail, but what I have seen, it's definitely a lot more fast-paced than Breaches.
All right, all right.
The rounds are gonna be quicker, and yeah, don't know what to
Gotcha.
say about that.
Any notes about the gunplay? You think the gunplay feels completely different, somewhat similar, or
I do think it's in Breaches a little better. I do prefer, like, personal opinion, I do prefer it over Vail.
that's fair.
Um,
That's fair.
yeah.
I
What do
think
you,
the
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say I think Breachers is a very simplified system that works really well, but then Vale likes to just take it to the next level and add
Mm-hmm.
every little detail possible, which can make it a little bit complicated, but I think overall, I prefer the interactive like abilities that you have with the weapons in Vale because I played
Right.
so much bone work, so much bone lab. I just love the idea of mounting my weapon on the wall and just being able to counter all of the recoil from it. It
Yeah,
might be a
yeah,
little bit cheese, but it's really interesting to actually see that in a VR shooter.
definitely, definitely.
Looks like we're just going to be waiting for one player from the Overdogs. So we'll see that in just a minute. Speaking of, we did have some other matchups go down, so we'll go ahead and cover the bracket so far. We did have Eclipse versus Polarize, which that was our match number 8. That ended with Eclipse winning 2-0 over Polarize to move forward into the second round of the winner's bracket. We had 8 Basils versus Express. 8 Basils, one of the most well-known teams in the game right now. They're a force to be reckoned with. They took out Express 2-0 as well. That was match number 7. And we'll see 8 Basils versus Eclipse this coming week. One of the next matches, Vortex versus Serenity, ended with Vortex winning 2-0. Vortex moving on to the second round of winners bracket, of course. But their opponent has not played their game yet. Anarchy versus Eclipse EU. So we'll have to see how these two top EU teams go up against each other. I'd argue that Crimson Claw, Anarchy and Eclipse's EU team are the top of the EU lineup right now. And I'm pretty excited to see who wins that match and goes up against Vortex in the round 2. Right now, we're going over Global Dystopia versus the Overdogs. As you mentioned, Overdogs is a Breachers team, so there might be some translation of skill here, or it might just fall apart. We'll have to see. With how many hours these Global Dystopia players have specifically on Vail, I think they definitely have the ability to perform a sweep here. but I don't want to overshadow the Overdogs by saying that, because they are still competitive VR players and they have the experience to win this. That's our match number 4 that's going on right now. Match number 3, we have Wrecked versus Trans Cat Girls. Obviously, I'm just gonna say Wrecked is probably gonna win the matchup. Cat Girls is a newer team; they're more of a pickup team. So going up against a coordinated team like Wrecked that has been playing, you know, IVRL, Crest League, everything Vail since more than 2 years ago, it's probably going to be a rough game, but it'll be a good learning experience, a good learning curve that those players have to get used to.
Yeah.
And then our last match, which there is a map being replayed, Crimson Claw versus Fierce. That will determine who goes up against Sunset Ravens in the next winners bracket round. In the lower bracket, though, we're looking at Nebula X, Serenity, Express, and Polarize. And Express is actually going to take Polarize out of the tournament because I believe Polarize either forfeited or dropped out. So Express doesn't have a match this week. They're already in round 2 of the losers bracket, and we'll see how far of a run they can make. Especially depending on who drops down from which matches. I think that's going to be a big deal for people in the losers bracket. It seems like whoever loses the 8 Basils versus Eclipse game is going to be going back up against Express. So if Eclipse wins, then 8 Basils is probably going to 2-0 Express again. If 8 Basils wins, we'll have to see how Eclipse does versus Express. A little bit of a mix-up. On the other side of things, though, Serenity will be facing the loser of Anarchy versus Eclipse Vail EU. So that'll be another EU versus NA matchup. So that'll be fairly interesting to watch. But other than that, that's our whole bracket right now. If you haven't already seen it, I'd highly recommend joining the Eclipse Discord. And we're going to get straight into this first match. Global Dystopia versus the Overdogs. Get some predictions in chat. We'll see how it goes as we're loading into the server right now. How do you feel about warm-up, Ray? You think it should be longer, or maybe be like certain modifiers, or just something more interesting?
I don't really have an opinion, but I think it's good as it is.
That's fair.
To be honest.
I've been talking to a few people and I've been asking them, hey, what if everyone just started, you know, doing pistols only in warm up, because we do have a pistol round. So it might be a good idea to warm up those pistols right before a game starts. But we are starting on Suna. One of the most iconic maps in Vail. The other 2 will be playing today being Kiri and Miru, if we get to all 3. As it seems, we will be seeing the Overdogs on Rayab's side, and DYS, Global Dystopia, excuse me for abbreviating, on the Colonist side. Pistol round, we'll see how these Overdog defenders on the Rayab side set up. And it looks like they're going to be playing an even split, while DYS has looked for a B-long push with one player pushing up cat mid. Smokes go down. LMK gets the opening pick onto Zyda as he swings sight with that beautiful MK23. That silenced pistol spamming through the smoke. No bullet tracers, as Hyper is just trying to play for his life here. Glock in hand, he finds one as Alta finds one of his own with his silenced pistol. And Scanna's gonna go down, dropping down on top of him. Alta finds one. But Later comes in behind on Cat to find Tabby. It's a 1 versus 3 here for Later. Swinging close and beautiful shots from Alta. 3 in the round for him, and that is DYS getting the first round. Good work from them. A simple strategy is sometimes going to work the best for pushing up through B long and 1 through mid. Overdogs may have to put all their eggs in one basket here and try to stack a site, considering they're down 1 player right now. We'll have to see what DYS does in reaction to this player disadvantage, or player advantage that they have. I'd assume they're just going to hard push every site they can get their hands on. As shots come out from on the site, Zyda seems like the dedicated B player, and he's going to get the first pick in the round. Playing close now, Hyper is looking for something else, but there's a swing from Cad as Alta. He finds 2. Another, a third. Can he find a 4th? It's going to be later in mid. Trying to push up again, but this time he's wrapping around to B long. Man, almost nothing you can do here except try to isolate these fights. There's going to be the first, finding Odyssey. As he pulls the impact nade, actually. Clears out backside, and there's a swing from backside because of it. Tabby finding later. And that's going to be 2-0 in favor of DYS, starting on this colonist side. Good work from them so far. As Overdogs, they need to figure something out. They've got to stack somewhere, or they've got to try countering these pushes with some nades. Something's got to be going on in their heads right now. But it is not the right thing. It's not what's happening. It's not what's letting them win. Here we go. Zyda, unfortunately, gonna knife himself, making this round even more difficult as Later has to solo hold off an A push. He finds the first onto LMK, but Tabby and Alta both get picks of their own. It's just down to Lego already. And that is a 3rd round for DYS. Absolutely running through the Overdogs right now, speeding through them like an absolute train wreck. And man, Overdogs, they gotta just keep trying new things until they get something working. Maybe they stack 3 on one site and have 1 play for info. Maybe they just 4 stack and leave half the map open, but they've got to figure something out. And it seems like that is exactly what they're doing. It's going to be 3 players towards A. They have the opening pick. This is a winnable round. It's a 4 versus 4 as LMK swings out from the main smoke. There's 2 players on Juke. It's going to be Later swinging out wide as he finds 1, but Tabby and LMK have found the picks of their own onto site. It's going to be Zyda in a 1 versus 3. He tried to get the flank in early, but DYS were out way too fast. As he lurks upon Juke, there's a swing for LMK. Good trade, but it's not enough to win the round. 4 up now. We are a quarter through our game. We are halfway through the first half. Man. Not much to say so far, I'll be honest. It's been a very, very rough time for Overdogs. They've been able to get their picks. I respect it. They have their gun skill down, and I'm surprised that their Breacher's experience is definitely translating. But they're struggling on the strat side. They're struggling on how to hold these hard pushes. As Lego is on his own, he finds 1. Can he find the second? It's going to be Tabby holding the edge of the smoke on the other side from him. Who swings out here? We've got Beer in backside. He swings green, but he's not going to find the pick as Alta get 2 of his own from behind. He's all the way B long, and he's going to clean up 3 players from the other side of the map. Beautiful positioning from Alta as that's 5 rounds for DYS. Still 0 on the board for Overdogs. This is a tough one. A real tough one, but there's always the opportunity that Overdogs has on this second map. We'll see what Alta does this round in mid. He's already in the double digits of kills. He's waited. He's gotten 2 and 3. 4 kills. Oh, man. That is terrible for Overdogs. That is a full sweep. They don't clear the corner of garage, and he just flicks head to head to head. Alta, man. 15 kills. The second player on his team, LMK, only has 4. He is absolutely dominating this lobby today. Talk about a star player, single-handedly shutting down an entire enemy team. Seems that this round, Alta getting another pick. Hyper tried to set up real early on Xbox in order to stop it, but he was not able to win the gunfight at the end of the day. B-long push here. Zyda's going to be dead as 3 players from DYS. Going to be Tabby, LMK, and Odyssey already up. Fighting now on A ramp. Alta finds another. This is just a playground for him as Lego has gone for the full flank. And he is once again coming from B-long. M4 in hand. What can he do with it? Looks like only a little bit of damage. Odyssey taking him out of the round and putting DYS at 7. Last round of the first half. Overdogs still has a chance, but they have less and less mistakes they're allowed to make at this point. Let's see if they nade any spots early. Seems that they're opting for no players mid. They're opting for just the normal split between both sites. And DYS is reverting back to this hard B-long push. Zyda, he gets taken out close. Unfortunate for him as Tabby finds one. Hyper is going to be ratting on Cad, but it's Alta to find 2 from Scaffold. That's the 2 A players gone, and it's all down to Hyper in a 1 versus 5. Can he ace clutch to save this round, to even save this half for his team? Alta swinging in close. He knows. Alta definitely knows. As he walks up close, Alta gets another 20 kills in 8 rounds. Alta is just playing out of his mind right now. He is swinging everything and going crazy, but now Overdogs on the attack, on the colonist side. They are the EU team. They may have advantage swinging here due to slightly higher ping. We'll have to see what their attack strategy is, as it looks like they're going to be playing towards this A site. Alta's actually pushed up lower tugs. What does he do here? As it looks like it's a full long push. Alta tries to swing up as LMK and Tabby find one. It's a push out into A main as players are already up A long for the Overdogs. Odyssey finds Lego on long as Hyper has to do something here, getting shot in the back, and it's Alta to win the round. That is, wow, a 9-0 on Stuna. Not what you want to see in tournament. And Overdogs are definitely not happy with that result. They're going to be going back to the drawing board, and they're going to be looking for what they can do this second map. We'll see if it's Kitty or Miru here in a moment. But, Ray.
Yeah.
Opinions on the first map. Can't say much, huh?
No, it was just sweep 9-0. There's no chance.
I think they definitely were able to handle the gunfights. They were able to get their respective picks, but a lot of the time they were just caught out. They had poor positioning compared to what, well, I don't want to discredit the rest of DYS, but compared to what Alta did, you know?
Yeah, they're now gonna be switching servers, I'm pretty sure, so...
Oh, we're switching to EU servers. All right, so DYS is going to be the ones to be swinging. All right. It's not like we didn't just watch them swing back and forth, but Overdogs, they've got to get back to the drawing board. Something's got to be going on in their heads. Looks like Lobby is going to be up on Hyper. We'll see how this goes in just a moment. Man, these early rounds in these tournaments, a lot of them end up being, 2-0 sweeps and stuff like that because there's just not a really good way to seed these teams based off them being new, So a lot of these newer teams are going to go up against experienced teams that have been around here for a while. We have 1 or 2 matchups that are fairly close, but they still usually end up being 2-0s, at least in one side's favor. And I'm pretty interested to see how this best of 3 format affects our later games in the tournament, especially the quarters, the semis, and the finals themselves. Because the majority of tournaments so far have been a play all 3 maps or especially in VRML, the rule set is play all 3 maps. So we'll have to see how different teams strategize, map picks, map bans, all that sort of thing, as it comes down to it later in the tournament. Looks like we've got a code up. And we'll be getting in just a moment. All right, loading in now. Map number 2. Overdogs versus DYS. Once again, back in warm-up. Letting these two teams just get their aim back up and figure out what they want to do here. As we're going to be on Mar. This is interesting. I have actually not seen Mar played in tournament in a hot minute. The last time we actually saw Mar officially in a tournament was the Miami Vail Major, which was very long time ago at this point, more than a year. So this will be interesting to see how these two teams play the reworked Mar. I think DYS is just going to take the opportunity to hard push everything they can, as once again we see Overdogs starting on this colonist side, and DYS starting on the Rayab. Remember, Mar is such an open map. It's a bit difficult to navigate if you haven't seen it before, but we'll do our best to guide everyone through it. Looks like the Overdogs players are going to be going through A main here, looking for an A site hit, as there is one player on A. It's Tabby. Flash goes out. How many does he blind? As he swings, he gets the first. Can he find another? As there's shots from triple door. LMK finds one as Tabby finds another. They single-handedly stop this push. And Zyda is the last to go down. Beautiful positioning from DYS. LMK coming in from those triple doors outside to help stop that A main push. Good use of angles here, as it was a 90-degree turn to the right if Overdogs wanted to stop any of those rotates. Looks like Overdogs this round, they're going to be opting to send players up onto the main catwalk. Let's see what they do here. Players pushing forward. Alta gets taken out, but there is another holding this B heaven area, looking for anything as Lego fights up top. Gonna drop down as there's a flank coming in. LMK finds one of his own, and he gets another. Lego completely taken out, as Hyper and Zyda are now abandoned. As LMK is playing towards Vats and HUD, he sees the feet through the stairs. He tries to go for it, but not exactly getting damage. Zed and Hyper alone. He swings down. LMK is found as they zip back up. 2 versus 3. It is a winnable round here for the Overdogs. All players from DYS positioned at B. One playing the catwalk, one playing light, and one hiding by Vat stairs. What do they do here? Seems like Odyssey has opted to rotate over, but he's not going to hear any sound from these two DYS players. That zipline is going to be a key noise cue for Overdogs here. They know only one player is here now, as it looks like the two other players from DYS have opted to stay B with only 20 seconds. That's not enough time to rotate, and Hyper and Zyda are gonna get the plant down. Odyssey is called. The rotate. Nade goes down through the hole, but it's not gonna connect with anyone. Rotated now. Beardy and Odyssey together on this back server area. Pushing forward now. Hard angles held by the Overdogs. Scanner's gonna get tapped. Is it gonna get held? Yes, it's gonna get held, but it doesn't matter. Odyssey's down. Tabby's down. It could be a round for Overdogs. As it's a 1 versus 2. Does Beardy win it? It doesn't look like it. Full blind. He can't do anything. He gets nothing as Hyper gets the final kill in Overdogs. They actually did it. They got their first round in the series, and they're gonna get their first round on Mar. 1-1. Beautiful round. Beautiful use of information drain from the Overdogs. They cut that noise out completely, and DYS was left in the dark trying to figure out what site they were hitting. Beautiful work from the Overdogs. I mean, even in a 4v5, that's something you should be doing. Playing off your opponent's concerns is huge, as LMK and Alta are in position to get one. We'll see how this cat push goes. Hyper does find the pick. It is a 3v4 now. His nades are going to go down. Looks like they're going to be using cat to cross over to Vats and go to B bomb site. And Alta is aware of it. Alta is listening to all these footsteps. We'll see how he decides to hard hold B all on his own, as he has 3 players from the Overdogs coming his way. Tucking in close. Does he go for the swing? He goes for the hold, but nothing is there just yet. Hyper and Lego clearing out short wall as they play for Rebel side. One player spotted up top. Do they get the pick? It's going to be hard to play off that verticality here. Alta is going to be coming in through Rebel. Is he able to find both? He does find one, as Hyper is now stuck on his own below, as Zyda tries to rotate and figure out a way to help his teammate. 2 versus 3. 35 seconds on the clock, and Hyper has scanner. He's just running it. He's running it A. There are no players on A. Tabby, does he spot it? Tabby doesn't spot him. Tabby doesn't spot him rotating. Shots exchange, but there's only 20 seconds. They have to get the scanner down. As Hyper goes down, that's scanner down in White Room, or excuse me, on Pyramid. As Tabby and Beer have already rotated. Tabby is going to be taken out, but 5 seconds on the clock. Alta's going to find the last pick. There was such a good opportunity for rotation there, but nothing came of it. These rounds are getting closer and better for Overdogs. I am pleased to see that, but DYS, despite their lack of time on this map, despite their lack of time on Mar, they still are a bit more coordinated as a team. They have been in this game for so long, and they're just able to use that to their advantage. Overdogs setting up on their spawn zip line. They're all just waiting for DYS to overextend and get a pick. That is so smart. Abby once again gonna be alone here on A, but close by there is Alta and Beer. B looks like the site to hit this round, but Odyssey is going to be crouching in a corner, trying not to expose himself to this spawn zipline. He knows the player's set up here, but it's a tough situation. Swing out from Spiral Stairs. Alta finds one from Spiral as he shoots for another. Can he find anything? Odyssey nades up, so does Alta, but there's nothing to be found there. Later is still alive on this spawn zipline. He could do something with it as Zyda goes to clear catwalk. LMK finds Zyda. As another push up from Later, he tries to find the trade, but it's LMK with 2 in the round, as it's all down to Hyper. 1 versus 4. The only person dead on DYS being Odyssey. The one who extended up and tried to clear it out. Hyper going for a nade. Or excuse me, LMK going for a nade, but Hyper is going to take him out. 1 versus 3 now. They know that he's playing towards B, and he does not have time to rotate. Flash goes out. as Hyper pushes close into sight. Gonna be watching Heaven and Rubble, but there's only 15 seconds. He has to try to get this plant down. Alta is playing Rubble. He could go for this swing as BRD tries to clear from backside from Dark. But there's just no time. It's just 5 seconds. Hyper trying to run onto the side. And Alta's gonna swing, but there's no kills. And BRD, post-round, cleans up Hyper. 3-1 in favor of DYS. Man. Well, now, Overdogs, they've got to know how DYS pushes up, where they push up. And I think they could definitely use the right nades and get a free pick early in this round. As long as they can figure out where these DYS players are extending to. DYS opting to play slightly further back this round, but that's not going to stop Alta from getting 2 picks. Finally getting traded as LMK is able to call out where Later is by using that zip line. As now everybody has rotated towards this A side of the map. Later in Lego, what do they do here? Resources so limited as they try to push through elbow and pyramid, but instead they're going up spiral to catwalk. 2 players together. We'll see if they're an unstoppable force this round. This looks like Odyssey is playing below them, listening to those footsteps on the catwalk, and he's called this possible rotate. These players now backing up off the A site. As Odyssey is just getting all the information. He hears the zipline, but he doesn't opt to go for shots behind. Odyssey just going to be taking his time to get in this A site. But why are they staying A? Wait, they're staying A. They've given Overdogs the
30 seconds remain.
B site for free. Did they forget scanner or something? What's going on here? 2 versus 4 and only 20 seconds on the clock. I think they left scanner. They were just looking for picks. As players, 2 players, Tabby and Odyssey, gonna be playing in cubes. They find one. Can they find the second? There's no time left, so it's just a matter of winning a gunfight. Later throws a nade, just for hell's sake, and Odyssey takes him out 4-1. Going into round 6. Oh man, what does Overdogs do here? DYS once again playing their relatively safe angles. Alta is pushed up on pyramid looking for any sort of info, but all the players from Overdogs are stacked up on this A push. They're lurking up quietly, and that's going to be a noise that Tabby hears. Tabby hears that gun clip against the wall, and he's going to be ratting real close. Hyper able to find Alta. That's a huge pick this round. As Tabby is now alone on the back of the A site, he throws his flash way too early, and there's going to be no one to be affected by that. 4 versus 4, this is a winnable round for the Overdogs, as have others been, as later spots one on top. Cat, can he find Odyssey? No, he can't, but Hyper's able to trade with Tabby. That's huge, as these players are rotating in. LMK and BRD finding one, finding 2, and it's going to be down to later versus LMK, a 1 versus 1. 1 versus 1, who finds this pick here? Later making so much noise. Trying to go for the pre-fire. LMK just playing behind the spiral in the middle of sight. Behind the pillar. Swings out. Trade! But it's going to be later to find the pick first. Oh man, 2 rounds for the Overdogs. That is huge. That is huge that they win that trade. Overdogs doing much better than last map. Congrats to them so far. Let's see more of it. Pretty calm start to the round once again, playing slow towards A. It worked for them last round, so they're going to do it again. They're going to see if they can run it back. Tabby once again being DYS's A player. Just listening for these noise cues. As Alta is sitting back. Alta is not actually going to be the top frag in this lobby. It's actually going to be Hyper from the side of Overdogs with 9 kills so far in this game. Impressive work from him. Definitely showing that he can win these gunfights against these experienced players. As Odyssey finds the opening pick into the round, Alta's able to pick up one of his own, and it's all falling apart for the Overdogs. It's just later, alone, once again in a 1v4. There's a swing from Tabby, coming up behind. Good work. As DYS get 5, and we are looking at our last round in the first half. Overdogs get 3 here. That'd be very, very good for them. Going on to defense, they're probably going to end up being split between the two sides 2-2. Or they're just going to play a full retake, which should be very difficult. So a round start, but this time Hyper is going to be playing alone on the other side of the map. LMK trying to clear out close cat. Calling a side of cat, but Hyper is not there. LMK hears that zip. Does Hyper go for the swing? Lego, no! Lego falls out. He's going to die to the lava. And LMK finds one of his own. It's all fallen apart in this last round as Zyda's able to find one, but it is still a 2 versus 4. They have the A site. The A artifact is secured, but there is no scanner going down. Waiting for some sort of pick. BRD sitting in servers. Tabby's able to find later. And it's all down to Zyda on site. He's able to get a trade, but once again, DYS getting the round 6-2. Go ahead and reset for my minimap. Man, we're getting some more interesting plays, some better work from the Overdogs, but DYS is really showing why they are one of the longest standing teams. They have such great coordination. They know what they're doing. As we are back on pistol round, we've swapped sides. It is going to be DYS on the attack, going for a fast A play, while Overdogs are on the defense. Knifing himself later. Is not able to do much, but Zyda and Lego find one of their own. 1 versus 3 here for Hyper.
Scan started.
And he's going to be coming in from servers, possibly red. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be going in from red. Looking down from above, dropping on these spiral stairs. Is he able to find the first? No, he's not, because Alta's right around the corner just waiting for him. 7 rounds for DYS. They need 2 more to win this series. It's not looking like we're going to get a 3rd map, but at least we got something out of the Overdogs. Hard B push coming out here from DYS. They know they have immediate man advantage and they can just 5-stack the site. Later playing Dark. He's going to be spotting a player on balcony. Can he get the pick? Yes, he can. Beautiful headshot. He actually has the opportunity to win this one as Lego knows that there's a player below him. Alta does find a pick of 1, but Lego's going to get shot in the back by Alta. Odyssey and later trading. It's down to Hyper. 1 versus 3. Didn't we just see this? Didn't this just happen as Alta finds the angle from below and Hyper's going to go down. 8 rounds, 1 left for DYS to win this series, to move on to the next round in the winner's bracket. Overdogs, this is their last chance. Seven rounds in a row. It just doesn't seem possible. As the Overdogs are actually going to be stacked on the correct side of the map, but it's not even going to matter because Odyssey's going to be in quick, finding the headshot on the Hyper. Good nade as Lego finds Alta, but it is a trade, meaning he's in the ground as well. Odyssey finds another pick as it's all down to one player. It's all down to later.
Scan started.
What does he do here? 40 seconds. Time is ticking as an impact nade goes out. Seems like he's just going to sit here. He just wants a knife pick. Swinging out now. And it's LMK. To find the final pick in the series, Alta once again top fragging this map with 13, LMK with 10. But Hyper with 9. Fragging out for his team when needed. Well played from DYS, well played from the Overdogs. Overdogs, we'll see you in the lower bracket. And DYS, we will see you versus either Wrecked or Transcat Girls in your next round game. 9-0 on Suna, 9-2 on Mar. What a series. And the first time we've seen Mar back in competition in a very long time. That was very exciting to at least see a long-standing map make a return. And before we close it out, any final thoughts, Ray? Any
really,
star moments you noted? Anything like that?
Yeah, I was not expecting this amount of skill by Dystopia or TOS, but I haven't seen much of them, so.
That's fair. They have been. I'm more familiar with DYS. You're more familiar with Overdogs. Teams from two different games, but props to all these players. If you haven't already, go ahead and drop some W's in chat for both these teams. But congratulations to Global Dystopia, DYS, for winning this matchup and moving on to the second round of our Eclipse 5v5 double elimination bracket. Raze, I just want to thank you so much for being here on production with me. You have been an absolute blessing to work with. And my name is Adaxi. Raze, why don't you send us out of here?